And we're rolling.
All right, back for another one. I'm an on again, off again kind of person, apparently.
Well, your job kind of has that thing going to it.
It does. It's been very busy lately.
But, all the Russians trying to hack into your business.
Exactly. Yeah. But we had an interesting start to the week. We got to go down and do some work on some property I have here in Texas. So we put in a culvert this weekend. That was interesting. I've never done that before.
Oh, that was fun.
Fortunately, I've done it a bunch of times. So.
And I'm glad you were with me, Ken, because I wouldn't have gotten it done without you.
Yeah,
I saw the concrete. Because the first thing that popped in my head is, why did you go with the concrete? Why didn't you do the spun?
It was free 50.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. The whole thing cost me $100.
And when we're done with it, when we get the concrete, the laid out and everything on there, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be rock solid.
Yeah.
It's rock solid now. I don't think that thing's going anywhere.
Yeah, it's not like we're going to be running artillery over it.
Concrete culverts are pretty sturdy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Believe me, they are.
Yeah, those things were not light.
No.
And man, if it wasn't for your neighbor with the tractor,
oh god,
yeah, we'd have had more than one back injury.
I've only ever messed with them, but I had a backhoe,
right?
So that was what we did.
Same thing. You got power till we were worried when we got there. I'm like, okay, how are we going to get these things in?
We just roll them down the hill and just land where they land.
Wherever they land, that's where the culvert is.
Yeah.
So
we could have done it Egyptian style. We had enough straps. We could have managed them down the hill, but luckily, like I said, your neighbor came across.
Tractor made worlds of difference and cut time to a fraction.
It was pretty good.
But I ended up hurting my back, so I'm dealing from the injured list today. I'm running on the injured roster from the podcast. We almost a hatchet of all.
Well,
things.
We almost didn't get there.
That's true.
Yeah, we almost didn't make it.
Yeah, my road rage kicked in. We had an accident on.
Well, we didn't.
Well, no, we didn't have the accident, but there was an accident on 45 at a juncture that it seems like is a magnet for those things.
So what they're doing is they have like 7 miles of construction between Conroe and Huntsville.
Yep.
And
it's been that way since I was a little kid.
Yeah, forever. And so this wreck happened at 6:30 in the morning. And so there's no detour. I mean, this was a major wreck.
It was involved. There was a fatality involved. So prayers to the family for that.
Yeah,
but, you hate to see that.
Yeah, a car flew into a truck and burst into flames. I mean, it was bad.
It was a bad wreck.
And so from 6:30 in the morning to when we rolled through about 11:30, they were just
freeway shut.
There was no detour saying road closed due to accident. You know how they would cone everybody off on a feeder road? Uh-huh. And so what people were doing is they were running up on this and just stacking up.
Yeah.
So everybody starts going through the ditches.
Everybody the pickup jumped the ditch.
Yeah.
It was typical redneck fashion.
No, we watched a dude take a boat. He was pulling a boat with
shit.
Yeah, I was interested.
It was a big boat. It wasn't like a 20-foot bass boat. It was a good 30-footer.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what he's thinking. So
we made it.
Yeah, but we had this whole turnaround-itis going on quite a bit.
2.5 hours sitting there
Plus,
waiting for
that's a stretch of road where your options to go around are very, very limited.
Well, they wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
But they had everything closed.
Thank you, TxDOT.
Yeah.
You did another fine job of shutting down every freaking road that we could have possibly used.
Yeah. So all those people that are trying to prepare for coronavirus, and you're headed up to Huntsville for toilet paper, don't go.
Yeah, you're not going to make it.
You're not going to make it.
Yeah, you're going to crap your pants.
You'll die of the disease before you get to the cure.
It was brutal. I'm glad it took 2.5 hours to get through it, but I'm glad we stuck with it. At one point, I was going to turn around. I was like,
we did it twice, actually, and then we talked ourselves back into going.
Yeah, we talked, and I'm glad we did.
What's the food?
It was. Yeah. We ended up cooking on the ground again and doing the steak and potatoes. Oh,
nice.
Yeah, awesome meal yet again. Good stuff.
So you got everything done that you needed to, or at least
we got to the point where we were satisfied. We're like, okay, this is good. Next time around, we'll do. I've still got to fill it in and concrete it and all that stuff. So
so the heavy duty shit's done. Now the rest of it's just stabilizing it and hand working it. Yeah.
So
it'll be good. It'll be nice.
It'll be nice to be able to drive the back of my property now.
So with this completing this. Is this going to give you an ability that you never had, or
no? The low water crossing that we had used to be stable. I used to drive a vehicle across it, and then we had a big storm come through, and it washed out the land bridge that we had there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
you remember we had the rickshaw.
Yeah.
Remember that's where?
Oh, my little artwork.
Yeah,
for our friend.
Yeah, we had a little. Todd had sponsored a little event out there. And we actually were able to drive Jeeps across it and trucks and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, but the storm came like after that and just took it all out. Yeah.
I know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's
now.
just right short of the landing area
Got
there.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
but it's on its way to being illustrious again. So,
Yeah.
well, we've had some interesting stuff come up this week. The coronavirus has stuck its head back up. That's been exciting, hadn't it?
That's going to go on for a while. So on my personal wall, I put a lot of stuff about it out there, and it's mostly from doctors. And, and people.
It's good info. I've been reading it. I keep up with what you're posting.
They're basically saying, look, folks, I mean, this is really not what they're making it out to be. I mean, you have one side saying the world's coming to an end, so people are people are panic buying.
Yeah.
My mom, here's an interesting little tidbit. My mom called me this morning. She said one of her customers, my mom works at a bank, and I'm not going to say which one, but she works at a bank, and one of the customers came in and wanted to withdraw all their cash because of the coronavirus. They said, what if, this was the what if, what if I get this and I need to be on oxygen and I need to pay somebody to take care of me? Will I be able to get to my money? They were going to withdraw every dime they had into cash.
Oh my God, that's like the
people
stock
won't
market
drink,
failed.
Well, the fail, but also the Corona beer.
Yeah.
People literally think that they'll get coronavirus from Corona beer. I mean, go to the Corona stock, the Gambrinus, they're taking a hit, man. They're taking a huge hit.
That's time to buy, though, because it's coming back.
Say, now you're talking my language.
Yeah.
So
25-cent well drinks coming back.
We were just talking about an entry point for a stock, and right now whenever we recover, I most definitely will be looking there.
I'm taking a beating. I wished my powder was dry, but I just wrote it out, and I know it's coming back. I'm not sweating it, but I wished I had my money free to actually make money on the rebound.
Yeah, just with everything right now. Okay, so I still only have one stock right now that's still positive. Mm-hmm. Everything else is either sucks or horribly sucks.
Yeah, it vacillates because the other day it made a massive rebound.
It did, and it's coming again. You know it is.
But I have lots of reserve cash ready to buy, except this is not there is no buy condition going on right now unless I'm going to buy because I know that's reached the absolute bottom. Well, I don't have that feeling.
The big problem right now is that oil has dropped to like 31.
Yeah.
It's the lowest it's been in a long time.
And you've got several factors playing on that. You've got Russia that's playing games with Saudi Arabia right now. That's a lot of what's driving that. We actually hit triggers this morning. I don't know if y'all know that. The stock market dropped 7%.
Yes, I saw that.
And we hit triggers to where the market was actually froze for 15 or 20 minutes, I think.
Makes it to where it's not tradable.
Yeah, so I was watching. I knew it was coming, so I was just watching my stock
because I think
this
it
morning.
affects the futures market.
It does. Yeah, it does. And I don't know. So when you follow some of these scholars, the medical scholars, they're like, look, people, 80,000 people a year die of flu around the world.
Yeah.
You know, and usually this
people
time of the year,
going to die.
Well, it sweeps through nursing homes like this time of year. I mean, and when you go to the John Hopkins or CDC or any of these people that are posting these tally boards like the ticker, Italy, China, South Korea, those are all issues. The United States, I think we have like less than 100 people that have died from it. I mean,
22 is where we're sitting right now.
So it's like a small number.
Right.
And usually the flu kills a lot more people.
Oh,
yeah, it's something like 10,000 a year. Around the average, around 10,000 a year that people die from the flu.
What about just fucking obesity?
Yeah.
Holy
shit. That's where exactly where I was going to go. There was a guy that posted statistics on texting and driving daily or weekly and monthly.
And by the way, Doritos new flavor. Hello.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. You have that. Then you have abortions was another one they threw out there.
Yeah.
Then they have food poisoning was another one he threw out there.
Yeah.
Medical malpractice. How many people die due to medical malpractice?
There's something that gets
it's almost 100,000 for those.
Yeah.
So what we need is like a graphic with Ronald McDonald that's got a scythe and a black hood on, you know, like the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about heart conditions and obesity and all this stuff. Somebody needs to run that little metric up the flagpole.
The problem is that the sheep out there, they were showing videos of people fighting over toilet paper in a grocery store.
I saw that.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, so toilet paper. You can't, alcohol, rubbing alcohol, toilet paper, hand sanitizer, Lysol, all that kind of stuff that people are starting to hoard. I'm like, okay.
Well, I pointed this out on my board the other day. I'm like, these people are so stupid. This should show you. You should be able to look at this, and this should show you what people are going to do in a real crisis.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the people that are doing this will be under. They'll be 6 under in 30 days. I promise you.
So it does make me wonder with the people that are doing some of the crazy stuff that we see showing up on the news. Is I'm like, what exactly was that dumbass watching?
That made him do that?
That made him do that.
The mass media.
The mass media, I think the majority of it's the mass media, but I think if you 3 out of 4, if you walked up and asked him and said, why are you doing what you're doing? They'd say, because he's doing it.
Brian Williams said so to do.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and that's
because he was there.
He was there when they all died from the bird flu in 1995 or whenever it was.
That was the other stat that they stacked up, the whole Hantavirus, H1N1, all the different
Swine
ones.
flu,
They were
flu.
like huge numbers compared to where we are now. The one thing that I thought was interesting was they threw out the fact that, the president's not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
So they debunked that really quick because he got on it within 3 weeks. He'd already had things in place within 3 weeks. And Obama took like months.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I saw where there was a comparison between what Obama did and what he did, what Trump's done.
So
It's
this
huge.
is kind of a short blurb, but somebody on Twitter last night basically called this coronavirus thing. Basically, the coronavirus is to Trump what Katrina was to Bush, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding?
That's
Are
perfect.
you kidding?
They're trying to do that. That's why the market's gone to shit, because think about the impact. So you have cruise lines.
Yeah.
So they have pretty much said any boat that's on the water that's coming to port, we're detaining everybody.
Yeah.
We're testing everybody, and we'll probably monitor them for 2 weeks. They ain't going home for any 2 weeks.
So they're going to keep them on the boat.
Yeah, they'll keep them on the boat.
That's a perfect. I mean, if you think about it, it's a perfect containment.
So
facility.
airlines are at 30%.
Yeah, nobody's flying.
Yeah, capacity.
Planes are empty.
So you have that going on, and then you have The Navy just announced they're going to not allow family and friends to assemble for the graduation ceremonies, but they will do them over video.
Yeah.
So you have all these sporting events. Think about the NBA has the finals coming up.
Lots of cancellations.
You have
South by Southwest got
South.
canceled,
Which
is like unheard of.
You got March Madness coming up right now.
Yeah.
And then you got opening season for baseball.
Dude, you know what'd be awesome is to make them play in biosuits. That would be hysterical.
That would be
go
hilarious.
up and down the court.
Yeah, nothing says cardio like running.
He goes to dunk, but rips his suit. No, he's gonna have to be escorted off.
NBC suits, man. Think about how brutal that shit is.
Mop gear.
Yeah, the mop gear is brutal.
That's what I'm saying. I want to see you dunk in some mop gear.
You don't know what suck is until you've been in full fucking mop gear.
Right.
Because that shit's fucking ancient.
Nike sponsored mop gear.
Yeah.
You see that?
That would be... I wish Nike would sponsor it. At least it should be more comfortable. That shit
that's
sucks.
true. You'd have Nomex in it or something.
I used to hate wearing suits like that going into
I've put them on before. It is not.
When I worked in a refinery, it was like you had to wear that every time you went into an area.
Yeah, Nomex.
Oh, not Nomex. To buy the full containment suits with the air
like
tanks and everything.
Fucking rubber. Yeah, Scott Air packs. All that shit. Yeah.
You know, which brings me to because we were talking earlier about your reunion with the face mask deal.
Yeah.
So the face masks are like gone. You can't hardly find them, right? The problem is the face mask does not stop the virus.
It's not NBC rated?
No, not at all.
It just makes you look safe.
It does. It makes you look like you're participating and doing your part.
Like an accessory.
Yeah. I'm part of the Me Too movement, you know?
I won't breathe in any sawdust, but those germs are coming right on in.
Yeah, that's it. People forget the protocol. I mean, so today we were eating lunch at, we won't name the place because I don't want to give them a hard time. But when you go there, they have a trough with
sneeze guard.
No, they have the hand wash station.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of rustic looking. So what you do is you take your hand and you push on the pump to pump the soap, which is contact 1.
Yep.
Okay, you wash your hands, and when your hands are soapy, you have to reach down and turn a dial that everybody else has turned. That's contact number 2.
Right.
Yeah, but you had to pull a door open number 1 to even get in.
To get into place, you had to grab. That's right. And then so then you've got. Because they say the virus can stay on the surface for 24 hours.
Right.
Which is most viruses do that. So anyway, all these points of contact. So I'm washing my hands.
Right.
And I'm going, I just touch everything that I'm not supposed to touch just to wash my hands. So we were talking about that. So when we got back here, we do a warm up, kind of a pregame.
Yeah.
We're just kind of getting everything out.
We amp each other up.
Yeah, it's like chest bumps and high fives, and we do a little cardio before we start the show.
That's funny is every automation company that has something to do with door opening and hand swipes to trigger something on, suddenly just gathered around. We'll gather around.
Get in the field, sell this shit.
Yeah, what those guys said. What those guys said.
Yeah, so we were sitting here and we watched a George Carlin video.
Yes.
So this is back like in what, the 80s, 90s?
No, it had to be after. It was in the 2000s, probably right before he died.
Okay,
so I think in early 2000s because the things he was talking about.
Right. So he's talking about viruses, and he says it's really funny because your immune system builds itself up by practicing with viruses and germs.
Yeah, sparring. Basically alluded to
called sparring. And he goes, so the germs, my white blood cells go through my body searching for germs. They attack it. They don't give it 3 strikes out. They don't give it stop and frisk. It goes directly to the colon to die.
Straight to my colon and dies. It was great, Carlin. Yeah. And basically, he's calling everybody pussies. That was the best part. All these people washing their hands all the time and using this stuff and rubbing it all over their bodies. What a bunch of pussies. Typical Carlin fashion.
So some memes have been pulling out of that, and he goes, so not him, but one of the memes said, just think the people... when they tell you got to wash your hands after you go to the bathroom, just think before this meme came out, how many people did not wash their hands after they went to the bathroom. And I'm like, oh man, that got me. That got me bad. But so the whole COVID-19 thing is just, we can agree it's being run amok for whether it's political. Yeah, it's a tool, whether it's political, which I think it is, to your point, where they're trying to say that this is Trump's Katrina, which is not. The
Chinese have made a political tool out of it. It's been interesting. They've been using it to get rid of political dissidents.
Well, that's where we're going to go next.
Right, right. I'm sorry, I was taking liberties here, but did you see with the Chinese? They had that allegedly collapse on its own, a building,
10-story building,
10-story building collapsed on its own.
Y'all were kind of talking about this.
Yeah, so they had a 10-story apartment complex they were
where
using
they were
as
housing everybody. Yeah,
they're housing for their quarantine.
Oh, wait a minute. It's a quarantine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a quarantine. Yeah, it was a quarantine.
For the virus.
Yeah.
Of course it collapsed.
And so it collapsed.
And you got the Chinese people, oh, so sorry.
And we're not laughing at the fact that hundreds of people got killed. We're just like, the Chinese are so, they're so not crafty.
Not at all. They don't give a shit. They just want to show you outright.
Yeah.
I think this is a tool for them to show you outright.
We don't kill people. We have industrial accidents.
Exactly. They kill people. And then wink, wink. They do the little wink, wink, nod, nod thing.
Right.
But, one of the interesting people that died in this, they had a guy that was an independent reporter. He took it upon himself. He was a lawyer. Yeah. He had his legal card through the Chinese government. He was a Chinese lawyer. And he was a reporter, and he used to report on stuff that was pretty benign. The Chinese used to back him, and then he went to Hong Kong and started covering a lot of the Hong Kong
the
protests and stuff. So he's over there, and he's starting to get more proactive into these Hong Kong protests. Well, the Chinese government comes to him, pulls him back to the mainland, and
we have a hotel room for you.
They did. Well, we're getting to that. They start trying to re-educate him.
I just went through a whole tongue lashing in Chinese in my head about, oh, you're so wrong?
Yeah, more or less. So they send him back to re-education camp, basically. They have his mom come out, and his mom's worried about him. She doesn't know. She's trying to coax him into calming down.
Right.
Well, he doesn't. He keeps making his Twitter posts, and they get out. They're starting to get out.
Sounds like my wife about my Facebook account.
But they ended up saying, oh, well, it looks like here you've had contact with the virus. We're going to quarantine you. 10 days later,
we have a hospital over here.
Exactly. 10 days later, this guy's gone. Nobody can find him. He's in this building that allegedly collapsed, and nobody had any contact with him up until this point. He's gone off the face of the planet.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So they haven't found a body yet or anything. So we don't know if he was in the building when it went down or if they just took him out back and put 2 in the bottom of his skull.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is funny.
There's your political tool.
It is. It really is. I think that so TikTok, I was going with Chinese. So the TikTok app that everybody's using for social media,
right?
If the Chinese control that, and it's a propaganda tool for them, and they use it to monitor trends and things,
right?
it's also a good place to promote agenda items like this whole coronavirus thing.
Right.
So have you been looking? Did you look at any of their posts on TikTok?
I have. I know very little. I've just started getting involved in TikTok. One of my friends set up a TikTok account, and she posts a bunch of goofy stuff, which translates over into.
That's what it's for.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of it's a bunch of goofiness. So I just kind of shied away from it.
Lasso is another one that's just like TikTok.
So a video came out of a guy that was walking around. He was licking his hands and then rubbing it on the control surfaces of an elevator.
Nice.
And, he was just, spitting on stuff. And then they would show people come in and out of that elevator that would touch all that. And then, and then they had the lady from the U.S. that was in Maryland or somewhere giving a speech on behalf of the CDC about coronavirus, saying, don't touch your hands to your face.
And she licks
her finger to turn the page, and I'm like, here we go.
Yeah.
This is kind of the whole. But I don't know. I mean,
do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, the whole stores running out of supply thing kind of has got me a little bewildered, but that's okay.
Yeah,
but
that's
morons are gonna moron. So
it's no different than people going on these mad rushes during like approaching hurricanes and shit like that.
When all the water and bread's gone, hot dog buns.
Yeah, that's funny because now everybody's got 20 loaves of bread and nothing happened.
Yeah, no, it all turns green and they throw it away. It's like you're such an idiot.
There you go.
But it's been interesting. So was this guy that's licking the butt? What was he? College age student?
Oh, he's an Asian guy.
Oh, okay. So
he was an Asian guy,
young kid though, I'm guessing.
Middle aged. He looked like to be in his 30s.
Really?
Yeah, it was a big question. I'll tell you what the concern was. Was this just a prank video, a propaganda video, or was it a legit video? They leave you kind of, you never know.
All the above.
Yeah, and I agree. I think they checked every box on that because it instills fear in people. It's so when you're like to earlier, you got to grab a door handle to go in a restaurant.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. I don't know. I just think it's funny. The flu is the flu. Okay,
right.
And all the doctors that I've been following and I share information from, they're all saying, look, this is not a complicated virus.
No,
it's one of those things that it spreads, but people heal up really quick.
Don't go sneezing in crowded rooms.
Yeah, which you shouldn't do anyway, right? Yeah. So the cruise ships is the one that I think is amazing because
hell, that's a big giant floating test tube video.
It's a floating petri dish.
Well, you always hear about these things coming back where everybody's got Montezuma's Revenge or whatever,
Always on the cruise ships. But apparently a group from Houston went on a museum tour to Egypt.
Yes.
And that's where they all came back sick. Because all the ones in Harris County that have it are from that cruise.
From that cruise, that's right.
Yeah, it's not like we're getting it anywhere else. Yeah. And it's a very small number of people. But we went out the other day to H-E-B. No water.
Yeah.
Rationing water.
We went
no
Sunday.
Alcohol. Hardly any toilet paper. I'm like, what the hell?
We went Sunday and everything was restocked.
Yeah.
Our routine is to go Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
And by the time we got there, it was all back on the shelves.
But the big concern right now is what it's doing to the markets, though.
Yeah, it's
all the different separate economies that are out there. Like Austin, because of the cancellation of the South by Southwest, they projected it was like $350 million lost.
Oh yeah,
because those businesses and
restaurants,
all the
hotels,
transactions that would have taken place because of it are all gone.
Sure.
So my buddy Jeff and his friends and family, they're all part of different trade shows that were supposed to be going on during this time too.
Yeah.
All that shit got canceled.
Yeah.
Hell, the Microsoft deal, that deal they were having in like Chicago or some shit.
Yeah.
That thing got shut down.
I got a bunch of notifications of security conferences being shut down because of what I touch in my field.
So
in IT. So
it's interesting because you can video conference. The one thing I don't understand about trade shows, because I've been going to trade shows my entire life, and they're very fruitless.
Yeah.
They really honestly are. Unless you're going to a specific conference.
Right.
But the interesting thing about conferencing today is you can do webinars.
You can.
That are actually more effective than being physically at the attendance of a conference.
In the old days, I think it was to get together and go drink.
Sure.
And I think that's kind of dying off as companies start to outlaw that policy of going out.
Most definitely.
You know what I mean? So I think you're going to probably see more and more of this stuff move to a video conference.
And I think that honestly, the days of the trade shows to me outlive themselves.
Yeah.
So to your webinar and video conferencing. It's gotten to the point now where I don't know what the situation was, but a school district somewhere started tossing around the idea of basically, have we arrived at a point in our U.S. current state of affairs where we need to start
the classrooms no longer necessary?
Putting classrooms.
Virtual classrooms,
So I kind of see
I love it.
How much money would you save on not having to do buildings?
The buildings, yes.
Well, just think of peer pressure alone for kids.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with that bully in the hallway.
Yeah, you don't have to see the stupid things about a kid that won't cut his dreadlocks because the policy says you got to cut your dreadlocks.
Right.
You don't have to worry about wearing Trump or Second Amendment shirts or a beer shirt to school.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
or whatever. I mean,
yeah, exactly. I do a ton of what I do is over webinar and video conferencing. And remember what's that Ron Burgundy? Where he had a suit from the waist up. And boxers
the red, blue, or so.
Yeah, and he had boxers down below. I mean, that's kind of how those things happen. I mean, you sit there. I just find it's one of those things to where it does affect the economy, but I think it should shift or change where you're putting your money.
Yeah.
Because, everybody's going to say, well, you're hurting the airlines. Well, no, the airlines actually hurt themselves.
Yeah.
Because they're not competitive anymore.
Yes.
And
the thing is by being more efficient and then suddenly twisting it and finding another industry that will become, I'm not going to call them a victim, but will suffer.
Yeah.
Because we've become more productive with, hey, I can stay in my own freaking zip code and get the same information that I would have gotten if I'd have traveled like 300 miles somewhere else.
Right.
I'm like, that's just smart. It's worked smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
So there's probably a Boeing 747 headed for this house right now to crash into it.
That's fine.
It's now.
So what ends up happening?
Industrial accident.
Yeah. Here we got a quarantine hotel for you guys.
Exactly.
We'll sponsor your show. No, it's funny because the misplacement of funds anymore with these things end up costing. They make everything we buy go up.
Yep.
Because nothing's getting cheaper.
Nothing.
And it's getting shittier and shittier in quality.
Right.
Because of all the money they're spending on this peripheral bullshit.
Right.
Whether it's a salary, because we're going to talk a little bit about this college tuition thing we were just talking about before the show.
Yes.
Right.
So when you're looking at all the add-on costs, and we might as well just jump in on that because I was blown away. I knew there was something.
I didn't realize it until you started talking about it.
I didn't realize the level of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's go ahead, Sam. Kick this one off.
So really, I was introduced to the topic just by perusing Google News yesterday because I knew we were going to get together and I was looking.
Sam was like, "God damn it, I got to do something."
Yeah, I've got to work. I got to work some more. So I find this article where basically it's a college student who was tasked with. I guess she was with her college paper or whatever. So she was tasked with something about like finding out, what all goes into sort of the construction cost of college hours.
Okay.
Why do college students?
Why does it cost what it costs?
Basically? Yeah, someplace like over in California, it costs X amount of dollars. In Texas, New York, and so on. So anyway, I guess she tried to get the information from the college she was attending. Maybe ran into some resistance. So she put in a Freedom of Information request or something of that equivalent. Received this information back and goes through this line item thing, and it was like this just line item upon line item, and arrives to this one component where basically if you're a student of one of these schools, that a portion of your probably a pretty good little hefty portion of your college hour payment of whatever you pay
tuition
goes to this program that you see no benefit from. The only person that really benefits, only people that really benefit is the college and maybe the students that participate
in that event, whatever it is, if it's sporting or whatever.
Yes. So I was like, holy shit. So what started out as this very sort of a benign story blew up into, oh my God, if this is going on at this one school nationwide, where are we?
Yeah.
So what she learned, number one, is if you're a public school, University of Texas is, So you have to divulge.
Yeah, there's got to be some disclosure there. I would think.
So, and if you're like, okay, so this is probably a poor example, but Baylor University, anybody who's a private institution, does not have to divulge that information.
Yeah, because you're taking federal or public funds.
Yes.
Yeah.
So her
they want to make sure you're being a good steward.
So she actually had a really good backup. So if somebody prefers to not supply me with the information I request, there is another institution, and it's usually they're California-based universities who create these massive databases. And this was the part of not the dark web, but it's the part of the web that nobody ever accesses.
Yeah, it's the one that's dusty and nobody visits.
So essentially, she said is, if you don't give me information, I'm just going to provide on what was provided to this one institution that was able to get the information that you gave, and then we'll extrapolate like whatever the inflation cost was from the time it was taken till now.
We'll add it to these numbers.
We'll kind of float it around, which, depending on where you're at on that, that's probably not information you want to go get out.
So where did it land?
Okay, so it varied anywhere from like 0%. You know, some colleges, and there was probably at least, the way I looked at the list, it was like divided up in like 10 school lists, and but it was like 20 something pages.
So what programs? Where was it going? Where's the money going?
Like the majority.
Arts, sports.
Oh yeah, I mean
administrative.
Arts. Yeah, but the main part was, look, they were only concerned about how much of the portion is going to athletic programs.
Okay.
Because like I told you,
so it ends up being a slush fund for the coach.
Yes, or the athletic program.
Yeah, the new stadium. The new stadium, the coach's salary, and all the stuff that goes into recruiting.
The new big screen, whatever.
So whatever mechanism they put in place that says, okay, the student is going to pick up the tab for this, and where we're at, maybe we don't have to divulge this. So
they're using that money to get, like, say, for example, football. If they get a football team, that means the band's doing well too.
Yeah, because
so you have sports, you have the recruiting, you have all the stuff that goes with it, and that brings in revenue dollars from TV.
Exactly.
So they're using the money from the student body basically to float themselves in the hopes that
other money.
So let me get this straight then. So when we start talking about tuition costs, and that's been big in the news lately. Everybody wants free tuition.
Yeah.
All this money's going towards these projects that allegedly is now going to be free tuition.
Right.
So as a taxpayer, in the end, if this goes through, I'm the one that would end up paying for the Jumbotron for school I didn't even attend.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, see, that ought to really piss you off to know.
It should, yeah.
But it doesn't. People are probably lost in the whole rah.
So when you think about the Warren Sanders mentality,
right,
they have no grasp of the depth of the roots of what's going on with these college programs.
Yeah.
But by this girl's report, she's basically exposing the fact.
Explosive.
Yeah, she's exposing the fact that people like Warren, which was an educator, and Sanders, which is an educator, are actually a part of this. I call it a Ponzi scheme.
Right. They're part. See, but here's what I think would happen once they get their socialism in there. All that stuff would die.
Oh yeah,
and it's just money to the government. It'd all be poor at that point.
Yeah, and
that's what they don't realize.
So they would bite the hand that fed them.
Exactly. Yeah. That's my philosophy.
So that makes best sense right there.
Yeah, it would all die on the vine.
It was just a crazy policy. Now, so I'm one or two things is either going to happen. It's going to get fucking squashed.
Yeah,
and nobody will ever fucking.
She's going to get coronavirus.
Yeah. We have a hotel for you in China.
Yeah,
free of charge.
The nurse's office wants to see you.
That's when you know you're in trouble.
Yeah,
when the squeaky shoes come walking down the hallway. Yeah.
Nurse Ratched.
Oh man, that was a great movie.
It
One
was
Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That was a good movie.
It's the society we live in now.
So. Yeah, so I can't wait to see how that plays out, because for families, first of all, I don't see how anybody sends their kid to college anymore.
Yeah,
I really don't.
What a waste.
Yeah, it is. Well, it is, because what do you get out of it?
Right. Other than debt.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing about where they want to make it sound like every kid needs to have at least a 4-year degree. And I'm like, there are honestly people out there that really would do better if they were a welder, or if they were.
Well, that's the whole Mike Rowe thing.
The whole trades thing is know how to fucking do something.
Well, with the coronavirus, it makes a very good point of why jobs in manufacturing should be in the U.S., because what happens with all the stuff we get from China, they were shut down. They're shut down for weeks over in that whole area.
And now you have zero manufacturing going on here.
So you may have reserves on the dock somewhere, because here's the lag. Because you're right. What ends up happening, we're not going to see the lag now.
Yeah.
We'll see the lag coming into the fall.
Yep.
Because a lot of the stuff, when it's shipped through customs,
right,
whether it gets checked or not, it's sitting at a dock waiting to get cleared into a warehouse by the Teamsters and Longshoremen's Union to move it to retail market. So you have stuff that's on the water that isn't anticipated to be in the store for another month or two.
That's what I was going to say. Your Xbox is going to be $900 this year because the lag that happened now.
Because of demand.
That's how it works.
Yeah. So the guy that bought it in the U.S. paid, say, $1 for it. Well, now, because of the demand and the time that's on the water gets here, it'll be worth $10 now.
Exactly.
So
he's going to make a huge profit come Christmas time.
Yeah. So
his family will be celebrating.
So somewhere in between there, you got to go,
Sony stock.
Yeah.
Sony stock is what I'm looking at.
Sure. Yeah. Because that's really what's going to happen. And so you won't really see those things until the holiday season next year.
Right. That's about when it'll cycle through.
Coming into the summer.
Yep.
And then coming into the fall,
you get that. You start that buying. The buying starts ramping up. You start seeing the commercials.
So you see where this could be politically motivated, right?
Yeah.
So you can see where this whole Corona thing can basically say, well, we know it may not seem like much now, but if we do the damage and then declare an all clear,
right?
Now we have a supply deficit.
Exactly. And this will be because of trade embargoes.
Yeah.
They'll put it back on that. Oh, this is Trump's trade embargoes hurting us.
And the only reason the story gets shaped this way is because this is the way it gets told.
Oh yeah.
Right. So really.
Look at all the manipulation that goes on now. I mean, you got Twitter, manipulating tags and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, now that's stupid. Yeah. Well, we sort of talked about this video briefly. The whole thing about they were talking about Biden essentially goofing up a video.
We're here to re-elect Trump.
I was like, that's not the whole video. If you hear the whole entire video, somebody got the video, chopped it up, and made it sound this way. Because I heard the entire thing.
Yeah.
So when it was getting spread on Twitter, I was like, he said what?
Yeah.
But instead of
incompetent,
the video wasn't the big deal. It's what Twitter did to the basically through this manipulated tag, which everybody was like, what the fuck is manipulated?
Right. Yeah.
And now that tag, according to what I've read earlier this morning, that tag has been removed, and now nobody even knows what the fuck it is.
Well, it's funny because the whole Pelosi, I posted a thing where Pelosi was trying to explain something, and she sounded like one of those robots melting down.
Yeah.
You know how they would start and then forget, and she would confuse it like, the TikTok is merrier when the sun comes up type shit.
Yeah.
And so Biden has those same moments.
He does.
And so
I've watched it live several times in the debate.
So it's really hard to tell if it's manipulated, edited, or if it's really memorized, because those people are like, if I was them, I'd retire and enjoy my life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give two shits about what went on. I would quietly sneak away with all the money I stole.
Exactly.
I'd go spend it all. And then when you prosecute me, I'm going to be 86 and I'm going to be like, what's his name? Weinstein.
Yeah.
Coming out on a fucking walker. Going into prison going, okay, I've spent it all. I've played it all. Put me away, bitch. Because that's what I would do.
I don't even know why I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah. So speaking of Epstein, let's talk about him a little bit.
Yeah, he had an interesting float. Epstein coming back in the news with
Mardi Gras.
Exactly. He had a Mardi Gras float where it had Hillary choking him out from behind.
Yeah, in New Orleans, man.
That was pretty creative.
So it was a real thing?
That was
it was for real.
In Mardi Gras. And they were chunking beads off of it in the whole 9 yards.
It was hilarious. And they kind of... So you remember Animal House where it had the Deathmobile?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's how I would have played that.
Totally.
Yeah, I would have played it just like the Deathmobile because... it caught everybody by surprise.
It did. That whoever thought of that they had some fine shock value planned up, and it worked. Can you imagine catching the beads coming off of that thing though? I wouldn't want the beads from one because
it could be with Epstein. It could have been anal beads.
Or every one of them could have been loaded with like strychnine or something. They're throwing them.
Was Hillary
suicide bead?
Was Hillary's likeness on this thing too?
Yeah, right here. I'm going to show you. Here's the picture.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let's see.
So let's pull up the picture.
It's pulling it up here. I know you guys can't see it on the, but it's
color commentary is. Oh yeah.
Look, he's in his prison jumpsuit.
She's choking him.
He's in a prison jumpsuit.
Yeah, that almost. That's Epstein there.
Yeah.
That almost looks like a.
Well, he's supposed to look sick and dead.
Okay, so paper mache has limitations, man. It has a big sign on his shirt that says Epstein.
It's like, oh my God, that's a Hillary likeness attacking George Bush
or Bill.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bill, what was that? What was that blurb that came out the other day? He said, well, my sexual relationship with Monica was to relieve anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like. Duh. That's why most people have sex to relieve anxiety.
Yeah,
I'm looking to relax some.
Yeah,
into this.
Well, that's not really a story that you tell, though.
Yeah, yeah.
It is when you're Bill.
And then Hillary comes out. There's a funny meme going around on Babylon Bee is just genius. I love those guys.
By
far some of the best writers.
Yeah, them and Uncle Sam's Misguided Children have some funny shit.
Yeah.
But the one with Hillary said, yeah, I suicided Epstein to relieve my anxiety as well. But yeah, that's the float right there.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh, I thought that was so funny. And then there's all kinds of stuff on the side. Something about I was innocent. All these different people. It was so funny. So yeah, so you have the Epstein memes don't go away.
No, dude,
they're still there.
That is nonstop. People are not letting that die. No pun intended.
And Reddit's really good about making sure it doesn't die, because one of our friends just recently they threw this meme out. At first I thought I was looking at some like crazy fucking language,
right?
And then I looked away, then I looked back, and then suddenly I saw familiar shapes, and then I realized, oh wait a minute, this is a word.
That Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yes,
yeah, that was funny.
I was freaking hilarious. Like
whoever came up with that was genius.
It's like somebody took the language out of like Lord of the Rings,
right?
And it was like this Lord of the Rings font. I was fucking dying.
They had the other letters in behind it. I saw that same meme. That was good stuff.
That was pretty good. Well, politicians seem to be like unhinged. Let's go to Schumer just a little bit. All
right.
So last week, Schumer threatened Kavanaugh and Gorsuch.
Yeah, Gorsuch, both of them.
Yeah,
if you vote for this, I'm coming for you.
We're coming for you. The whirlwind.
Yeah.
You will reap the whirlwind. We're coming for you. Yeah.
Threatened them. I mean, there was no ifs, ands, or buts.
He sounded like a union boss. If you ever watch a movie and you see a guy on stage pounding the stage or the podium, he looked like one of those union guys.
That's a great analogy of that.
And so he gets on the floor. So Mitch McConnell gets out there and just rakes him over the coals.
They called him out. They were like, hey, dude.
And so they rake him over the coals, and then he gets up there and goes, like he's making excuses 101. If you ever want, I'll tell you what, if you're a guy and you got in trouble with your wife, the best way to learn how to make excuses is watch the Schumer video. Okay, because Chucky's going to show you
he was masterful.
Yeah, he was really coming up with. He did everything except say I ate mushrooms that were bad.
Right.
You know, I mean, he was just like basically rolling up. Look, I'm impassionate, and then he goes. And I'm here for you women. I'm here for you women. Yeah. They hate women. And I'm like, dude, there's like Republican women all over the place.
He flipped it right back around. Typical. I mean, I wouldn't expect any less.
So I'm
somebody's been.
So they want to censure him. Okay, they want to censure the guy. But Lindsey Graham comes out, and we talked about this yesterday.
We did.
Being the ultimate politician that Lindsey Graham is, which is good when it's working for you. It sucks when it's not working for you. So Lindsey Graham says, well, we could, but we're afraid if we censure Schumer for what he said, they'll use that same tool to go after things that Trump says.
Yeah, which they could, because Trump can say,
that's exactly
as much as we like it, Trump can say some pretty inane.
I find myself wishing he would shut up more often.
No, me too. Yeah, especially the Twitter thing. But he's a master with it.
He uses it to his advantage, so I think it's safe to let him run. It ends up working out for him. He's like the cat with 9. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, 9 lives.
It's the cat with 9 lives, dude. He just does not get hit by the car.
So that's kind of the brilliance of a political stance by a guy like Graham. But now we have Hilderbeest.
Yeah,
Hilderbeest on Hulu. You know?
Oh yeah.
Hilderbeest on Hulu, high on Hulu, I call it.
Yeah, that was her little. That was a little payback to get her some good publicity.
Dinesh D'Souza put out a thing called Hillary's America.
Yeah,
that
it was brutal.
Oh, it was a good expose because it's true.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and she just will not go away. I tell you, the best way to get rid of Hillary is just prosecute her.
Yeah.
Okay? Because what'll end up happening, it's going to be like spy versus spy.
You don't think they'll end up making her a martyr if they do that? Where she gets even a bigger audience?
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? You can't elect a dead person. Right? So
that's true.
You know?
That's true.
To me, I just want it done. Because remember when we were kids, we had spy versus spy. You had the black spy and the white spy.
You used to read that all the time.
Chase each other.
I think everybody's just looking for
Closure's a good word.
But I want more than closure. It's you had all of this stuff, and then all we do is give them time to either say, okay, whatever this ugly thing that somebody discovers, you give them the other side time to be able to explain it in such a way where somebody goes, well, I guess that's kind of a plausible explanation. No, it just goes, it's not.
It just dances away. It just dances away, and then they let it go. And that's how it's always been. I mean, throughout her whole career, that's how it's gone for her. It's some sort of, I don't know if she's got a leprechaun in her pocket or what.
Between her and everybody else, you almost make politicians as they're Teflon.
They're not.
They can't be fucking hard.
Well, look at Cunningham. He got thrown in prison for that the ex Vietnam fighter ace. The Californian guy. He got thrown in prison for embezzlement or something like that, or lying or what. All these people that get put in jail for lying to Congress. Yeah, you can kill people. Here's the thing. So we have, 28 people dead in the U.S. of coronavirus?
28, something like that.
So Hillary's killed 56 people.
Right.
I mean,
she's deadlier
makes her more deadlier than coronavirus right now.
As far as I'm concerned, coronavirus for her, she could actually use that to her fucking advantage.
Right.
Yeah, she
wasn't
could.
me, it was fucking coronavirus.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. You're thinking outside the box, man.
Exactly.
Now. Well, I mean, so we have her. I don't know what is going on with her right now because she's unelectable.
She is, but I mean, she keeps popping up. They keep interviewing her. What do you think? I saw where she came out and endorsed Biden. This was an interview this weekend.
Yeah, she's trying to get back. She wants to be his VP,
more or less. Yeah. She came out. She didn't outright endorse him. It was kind of funny. It was kind of a backhanded endorsement, really.
Yeah,
because they were asking her about Bernie, and basically she said, "There's no way that Bernie is electable."
Yeah.
She laughed when they did it. She did that cackle that she does. You know, whatever it is. She cackles at the idea of Bernie getting the nomination, and they ask her about Biden, and she was kind of like, well, I don't know. And the reporter basically said, well, you got to pick one of them. She goes, well, I guess so then.
Yeah.
I mean, that was her response to that.
And that's where that whole party is, because you have two old white guys that are out of their senile.
Right.
I saw a funny meme the other day. There were two electro scooters going down the road with two gray-haired guys in it. One said Bernie, one said Biden on the back.
And they're racing towards the Democratic nominee.
Yeah, and I'm like...
Tulsi's got to be pissed off.
Oh, you know it.
Tulsi Gabbard, she's got to be pissed off.
What about me?
I'm hanging in there. Nobody ever talks about the poor girl.
And they won't give her press.
No, they won't. But she's the only one that's got any sense out of all of them. Not that I'd go out and vote for her, but when you hear... She's got at least some halfway decent sense about her. So
she does. It's going to be funny because we're going to assume that Biden's going to get the nomination.
That's all that's left.
Bernie's people are going to go ape shit.
Yeah. Oh, that goes back to what I've talked about.
But the Bernie bros?
Oh, yeah. The Bernie bros going ape shit.
So Tulsi hasn't... I mean, she's still actively campaigning.
Oh, yeah.
She is, but they're acting like she's not even going to be at the
because like this Tom
DNC.
Steyer guy that you brought him up a couple of times.
He's out.
He's done.
So he did.
Oh, yeah. He bowed out at the same time. Remember when you had the 4 last week?
Warren went. Buttigieg went.
Yeah.
You're so insignificant, nobody even knows that you bowed out of the
pretty much.
I'm glad that Bloomberg finally figured out that he looked like a vampire up there eating kids off of toast. He looked like somebody eating babies off of toast.
I'll tell you what hurt him was so he spent $500 million in it.
Well, that's what's on your record. They're saying by the time he gets done, it'll be $1 billion.
$1 billion. So they put out a really clever meme the other day. It said that Bloomberg would have been better off giving every citizen in the United States $1 million.
Right.
And then tax him 56% on it.
Right.
And that way he's bought the office, and he would have been money ahead.
Right.
Because you've been able to write off that money that he gave and then got half of it back under taxes. I mean, it's like, and we would have all been $400,000 richer in this country.
What an idiot.
Or he could have went and took that money, and he could have ended veteran issues at the VA.
Oh,
he
yeah.
could have ended that shit.
Basically bought health care for
He
life.
could have he could have paid for health care.
Wait a minute. Give everybody $1 million.
Yeah, $1 million. See, they basically said there's what they say, almost 40 million people, and
that would have voted.
Voted in the election or something like that. So give everybody $1 million. That's
$40 million.
$40 million or whatever the number. How many people's in the U.S.?
350 million.
Yeah.
Okay, if you give every citizen in the United States $1 million, that was the number.
Yeah.
That would have been cheaper in the long run than spending $500 million in the election.
Yeah, that math doesn't work out.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking in my head. That math doesn't come out. He didn't have enough.
Yeah.
If you give 300 million people $1 million,
That's 300. 300 people will get $1 million.
okay. So if you give whatever the fucking meme says, guys, they're saying that if he gave the money
Yeah.
to people,
He could have bought votes.
He could have bought the votes,
Right.
and then taxed. And I'm like, okay,
Now,
whatever.
Now the tax part, I track is like,
Right.
oh my god, he'd get this fucking huge
Yeah.
money back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not for himself, but
No.
go back into the government and fund all
right.
this stupid ass program.
Exactly. That's what they were saying. So these programs would work if he took that money. It's being the philanthropist that he said he is.
Yeah.
And he gave the money to a veterans forum, or if he gave it to like homeless children or something like that, it would have shined better than him spending it on gun control and abortion.
Because he's fucking rabid as shit when it comes to
well,
that.
he was rabid as shit over the 64-ounce drinks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because
He's a control freak.
Yeah,
I mean,
he is.
this guy's Hitler to the max.
Yeah, he
There's
is.
no doubt about it.
I do kind of wonder when. Okay, so once the election has passed, or when people start assigning positions to cabinet positions.
Yes.
If this dude's going to fucking end up in a cabinet position somewhere.
He might could buy his way into one of those. He already said that he owned everybody on the stage.
Yeah, that's
so.
That's true.
He did
That's
mess up
true.
massively.
I bought these people.
It was coming out of his mouth. I was watching it when he did it. It was so
own
awesome.
You and you and you and you.
Yeah, it's like Oprah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, that's you got an inside look on how those people think.
Oh, definitely. That was the beauty of
Yeah.
it, is seeing how that they operate.
Yeah.
It was an education for me.
Yeah. So we beat that guy up pretty good for the last couple weeks.
It's hard not to.
Hopefully, it's going to be interesting to see where he lands though after all this. Because his whole thing, him and Biden. Well, no, Biden was the one that was going to make Beto O'Rourke his gun czar.
Yeah, but that guy's funded by Bloomberg. But I mean, that's where all his money came from.
So
I think
Bloomberg
he's
guy,
really going to probably end up being the drug czar, though.
Because he needs it.
the DUI czar.
Oh man,
Yeah.
terrible.
So let's see where are we at here. So we went to the hot golfer chick.
Yes.
Oh man. So there's
I've never been more interested in the LPGA than right now.
You remember her name?
I don't.
Does it matter?
Yeah. Anyway, she's
Boobalicious.
Yeah.
Boobalicious Smith.
My whole thing.
Look her up, Ken.
I will.
My whole thing about her is okay. Now, granted, I saw the photos.
Yeah.
She is fucking gorgeous. She's
Oh,
a
yeah.
Dazzling, yeah.
girl.
I mean, clothes. She looks
The
good.
first thing I was thinking is, how come nobody has beat the fucking shit out of whoever this fucking boyfriend was?
So what it was is there's this lady in the LPGA. We'll get her, and we're pulling her name up here now so we can know exactly what we're talking about.
Right.
But she had some revenge porn show up on the internet. What happened? Beautiful girl, ex-boyfriend gets pissed off, throws out revenge porn that he had of her. So what she did was pretty smart. She turned around and said, "Yeah, you know what? I can show my own naked body off. Thanks." And she released some pretty racy photos of herself.
Well, she was a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model.
She was.
So that's where that's where some of those pictures came from.
They did, but I thought she did some on her own too.
She did. I'm going to pull them up here.
Yeah. Now, was it this week or okay? So the whole International Women's Day.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
So is that-
going on yesterday or today.
So
isn't it?
is it a day or a week or what? Okay, so because when this news came out, I wasn't sure if they were playing up the day. Not that, and I'm not slamming the day at all.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But the fact that this was this was really her only recourse. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the fact that she felt empowered to do this,
wow.
good for her. that whoever that fucking boyfriend is, that dude's a fucking piece of shit.
Oh yeah, he's got to be. He's hiding. Yeah. He's hiding low somewhere.
So
he has to be.
I'm going to tangent the girl that you brought up the other day, that Ren Patrick.
Oh
girl.
yeah.
Okay, so I saw her performance on
American Idol.
Yeah, that girl can fucking sing. And she was in kind of an abusive relationship too. And the first thing I'm thinking is, how come nobody's beating up these piece of shit boyfriends that are fucking tearing these fucking chicks
maybe
down?
you're just not hearing. Maybe you're not hearing about it. Maybe they are getting the crap kicked out of them and just getting publicized.
Well, you know what? I need pictures.
This girl's name is Paige. Paige is absolutely beautiful.
Paige Renee. Yeah. Paige. You can follow her on Instagram like we are.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But good for her that she was.
Oh, check it out. She did the Farrah Fawcett. Look at the Farrah Fawcett. She did the Farrah Fawcett.
Oh, there it is. The poster.
Yeah, she
Holy
felt
mackerel.
confident enough to do this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Which is, the photos are fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
but
these are actually tasteful. There's nothing.
No, there's nothing.
There's nothing wrong with these hair. This is
artfully done. Very artfully done.
So going back to this Ren girl, because I met her. She played at a venue that we had here in town, and she was with a group at the time. And I remember the guy. The guy was a douchebag.
Okay.
And they went off. And you remember the show The Hills or the OC or whatever it is?
Yeah.
They did that kind of music that was played on those soundtracks.
Oh, okay.
So they had a couple
the
songs.
kind of poppy.
Yeah. The Gossip Girl type stuff that you saw.
Don't even know.
So I remember when they came through. Well, it's a Malibu. It's kind of like the Kardashian.
I've heard the
Paris Hilton type lifestyles.
I'm not familiar with the show.
So anyway, she was there. They sang at the venue.
Okay.
A couple times. And really nice girl. She's from Cyprus.
Yeah.
And then we were watching American Idol, which I don't watch American Idol, but my wife said, "Hey, this girl's from Cyprus." And I was like, "Dude, I know her name. I know her." And I said, so I pulled her name out before they showed it, and I go, "Dude, she looks way different."
Yeah.
So she was talking about, she was at a party, and Katy Perry, her boyfriend was treating her like shit, and she said, Katy Perry walked by and says, "I'd dump him if I were you."
Yeah.
Okay.
And then let me write a song about it.
Yeah, basically. I don't know. Yeah, but so
song was like really fucking good.
Yeah. So it was. Ren. I mean that. So I know there's a group. Her name was Hannah Smith. She played the guitar with them. That's in the video I posted. It was at the venue we were at, and that's why they all didn't go together, because it was that one dude. So going back to guys that mess up. Trust me, that sticks to them, because other girls, women,
once your name gets out,
women
like that,
will blackball you.
Oh yeah,
and when it'll get around, and you'll get the revenge girl that'll seduce you, and
one with a screw loose and a couple of drinks in her, and you're done.
Well, you remember that there was a movie called John Tucker Must
like a date for me.
John Tucker Must Die. Remember that?
Yes.
Where those girls got together and they all started giving him female hormones and all this.
They revenged that dude.
They messed that dude up. You don't remember that? Yeah, you don't remember that movie?
What is
John
this?
Tucker Must
John
Die.
Tucker Must Die?
No.
Where he was this high school jock and he would just play all these girls. And then then they all found out they were dating the same guy and they all got dumped.
Never.
And so they picked up this one girl that he didn't know, and they fixed her up, and they sicked her on him, and
it was vicious.
Yeah, and so they were giving him, like, the women just went nuts. They were giving him female estrogen and stuff like that. So he went from being he was like being a sensitive bitch on the basketball floor. It was hilarious.
He's crying. He's shedding tears, all kinds of shit.
Why are y'all not passing the ball to me?
Yeah,
I mean, it was hilarious.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go.
It's a funny movie. So yeah, I mean, to me, I would never do that.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, I can't even fathom.
And it's not even the looks though.
Thinking about that.
Yeah, I mean, because I used to have a meme that says, "As good as she looks to you right now." Some dude is tired of putting up with her shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the road does go both ways.
It does.
But, like you said, when you take the visual component out of it, it's the behavior.
Yeah.
Would I ever consider doing some shit like that? Fuck no.
Yeah, no.
Number one is I would want to kick my own ass.
I would want that karma on me.
There it is. So, the problem that you have here is, so you have a girl like this. Every guy is trying to get it on with her.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you got all these dudes that are gravitating to the hot girl. Now, dudes, we know how guys are. Guys will talk shit about other dudes so they can get into that.
Yeah.
Right? So for her, then she's going, I'm getting pick of the litter here.
Yeah.
So it's not like she's a naive prey in this whole thing.
Obviously, she knows what she's doing.
Right.
I mean, from the photos.
I mean, because when you start playing games at that level, you got to know your walk away point.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like when it starts getting like that, I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm not going to go down that road because, one, there's many, many more out there. And it's not about just how she looks, it's how you get treated. Right. And how you treat her. So with her, I think she's married now.
Probably. I'm sure this was way down.
Yeah.
This was a long time ago.
But you sit there and you look at, I don't know why, and we all do this all the time. We look at go, why does she put up with that asshole? That guy's a dick.
Yeah.
So it's just the nature of, I can fix him.
Oh yeah, that is always at play.
Yeah. I mean, I can fix him, or some empathetic bullshit that they get out of it. And I'm sure I'm going to get all kinds of hate now from any potential female fans that we have out there.
Yeah, all three of them.
But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump on my bicycle and hope that Google doesn't track me.
Exactly, because they'll be able to run you down. They'll find you on your route and run you down, dude.
Yeah. So there's a story that went out. There was was it a robbery or
it was a robbery? They burglarized a home for several $1,000s worth of jewelry from this old lady.
So the police went to High Tech.
They did.
And they started looking at cellular phone movements in the area around that time.
They were looking for unusual movement.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So they're looking for patterns. That's basically what they're looking for. They get out and they
geo-netted this guy.
Net. Yeah, they're casting a Wi-Fi net. And they're looking for patterns inside the Wi-Fi net. So you've got this guy that uses a Google app to ride his bicycle. Okay? He rides his
bike. We all do. We use one.
No, I use one as well. So he's got this Google app that's tracking his movement, and unfortunately for him, his movements took him past this lady's house several times. And it's just his bicycle route that he rode every day.
Right.
So the police see this, and he becomes suspect number one in their investigation. So he gets a note, an email from Google that says, hey, 7 days from now, unless you contest this, we're going to release your information to the police.
So they blackmailed the guy.
More or less, yeah. Into coming in. I mean, they basically saying, we're gonna start looking at you really hard. You need to either contest this. So it's hard to get I would think it would be hard to get legal defense together for something like this.
Yeah, because you don't want to incriminate yourself unintentionally.
Exactly, by going in. I mean, how many times does that happen where innocent people and end up incriminating?
Well, that's why you have Miranda rights.
Exactly. So the police have cast this wide net out, and
that's because their investigating skills suck. When you're having to cast that broad of a net out.
Well, they've caught people with this before. They've caught murder suspects. Exactly. So this guy goes to his parents, ends up having to borrow money from them to get a lawyer to defend himself. And it goes through the whole 9 yards of the legal wrangling for Google not to release this guy's information. The lawyer ended up talking to the cops, and the cops ended up saying, well, with this information, it ends up exonerating you. But he ends up thinking in the end, what if I didn't have legal counsel? If this was just some average schmo that couldn't afford several $1,000s for a lawyer.
Right. He's
totally railroaded at this point. So it comes down to the legality of how is this fair for the police to be able to go out and base an investigation solely off of cellular data.
Unless you go and list the services of a good lawyer, you could have a criminal record.
You could. Well, one that you didn't deserve.
Allegedly.
Right.
Yeah, it's just
well, like I said, that. Look, I'm all for police using all the tools and everything at their disposal, but you need to do it right. When I've seen it to where they get locked on.
It's called due process.
It is.
Yeah, you have due process.
Have these rights.
Yeah, your Fourth Amendment rights is to due process. I believe.
Is. Yeah. But how's it fair that the cops make you go out and spend thousands of dollars to defend yourself? That ain't right.
Suddenly, all the bike riders are staying home.
Exactly. Yeah. I haven't used my app since this story. It
doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm like, you know what?
It does me. The more I look at it, the more I don't want to use it. I'm starting to look at technology as
I'll show up to court and say, you're a fucking liar.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you're violent on top of being a criminal, huh?
Yes. Well, I'm being falsely accused. I am.
Well,
if I'm calling somebody a liar in a very hostile tone, if that makes me hostile, then so be it.
Yeah, I don't know. So, we got anything else we want to cover?
Man, I think we hit it all with
we
the
hit every box
hammer today. We checked all the boxes.
Okay,
that was
cool.
entertaining.
This fucking horse.
Well, it was fun, guys. It was good to see you guys again.